I'm going to read to you one of my favorite stories from when I was little. It's been around a long time, and it reminds me a little bit of the story Chestnut Pudding that we read in class. So I hope you enjoy Strega Nona. It's an original tale written and illustrated by Tommy DePaula, who's also a really great author. This is probably his most famous book. Oh, and look inside. It's actually signed by Tommy DePaula. That's really cool. Here's Strega Nona right down here. In a town in Calabria a long time ago, there lived an old lady everyone called Strega Nona, which meant Grandma Witch. Although all the people in the town talked about her in whispers, they all went to see her if they had troubles. Even the priest and the sisters of the convent went because Strega Nona did have a magic touch. See how people came to her if they had some troubles? She could cure a headache with oil and water and a hairpin. And if you see in the picture, she's mixing something up and poof, the person feels better. She made special potions for the girls who wanted husbands. You drink the potion and look. And she was very good at getting rid of warts. Do you see the wart on this man's nose? And then she puts the magic sponge and poof, it's gone. But Strega Nona was getting old, and she needed someone to help her keep her little house and garden. So she put up a sign in the town square. See her there? Yep. This is a really important part of the story they should remember. And Big Anthony, who didn't pay attention, important character trait, he didn't pay attention, went to see her. Anthony, said Strega Nona, you must sweep the house and wash the dishes. You must weed the garden and pick the vegetables. You must feed the goat and milk her. And you must fetch the water. For this, I will give you 3 coins and a place to sleep and food to eat. Oh, grazie, thank you, said Big Anthony. The one thing you must never do, said Strega Nona, is touch the pasta pot. It is very valuable, and I don't let anyone touch it. Oh, see, yes, said Big Anthony. What do you think Big Anthony's thinking? Well, one thing he can't do, that's probably what he's going to want to do. And so the days went by, and Big Anthony did his work, and Strega Nona met with people who came to see her for headaches and husbands and warts. Big Anthony had a nice bed to sleep in next to the goat shed, and he had food to eat. There he is, working in the garden. One evening when Big Anthony was milking the goat, he heard Strega Nona singing. Peeking in the window, he saw Strega Nona standing over the pasta pot. This reminds me of in Chestnut Pudding when the grandson's peeking out from under the bed or under his blanket. Here's Strega Nona. This is what he saw when he peeked in the window. There he is. You see him peeking? She sang, bubble, bubble, pasta pot. Boil me some pasta, nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up. And the pasta pot bubbled and boiled and was suddenly filled with steaming hot pasta. Then Strega Nona sang, enough, enough, pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day. How wonderful, said Big Anthony. That's a magic pot for sure. And Strega Nona called Big Anthony in for supper. But too bad for Big Anthony, because he didn't see Strega Nona blow 3 kisses to the magic pasta pot. See? That was the magic part, and he wasn't paying attention. Are you seeing a problem coming up soon? And this is what happened. The next day, when Big Anthony went to the town square to fetch the water, he told everyone about the pasta pot. And naturally, everyone laughed at him because it sounded so silly. A pot that cooked all by itself. You better go and confess to the priest, Big Anthony, they said. Such a lie! And Big Anthony was angry, and that wasn't a very good thing to be. I'll show them, he said to himself. Someday I will get the pasta pot and make it cook, and then they'll be sorry. That day came sooner than even Big Anthony would have thought, because 2 days later, Strega Nona said to Big Anthony, Anthony, I must go over the mountain to the next town to see my friend, Strega Amelia. Sweep the house and weed the garden, feed the goat and milk her, and for your lunch there are some bread and cheese in the cupboard. And remember, do you know what she's going to tell him? Don't touch the pasta pot. Oh, yes, Strega Nona, said Big Anthony. But inside he was thinking, my chance has come. Uh-oh. This is not going to be good. As soon as Strega Nona was out of sight, Big Anthony went inside, pulled the pasta pot off the shelf, and put it on the floor. Now let's see if I can remember the words, said Big Anthony. And Big Anthony began to sing. Bubble, bubble, pasta pot, boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up. And sure enough, the pot bubbled and boiled and began to fill up with pasta. He did it. There's no problems here. It's just happy pasta day. Aha, said Big Anthony, and he ran to the town square, jumped on the fountain, here he is, and shouted, everyone get forks and plates and platters and bowls, pasta for all at Strega Nona's house. Big Anthony has made the magic pasta pot work. Of course, everyone laughed, but ran home to get forks and plates and platters and bowls. And sure enough, when they got to Strega Nona's house, the pasta pot was so full, it was beginning to overflow. Big Anthony was a hero. He scooped out pasta and filled the plates and platters and bowls. There was more than enough for all the townspeople, including the priest and the sisters from the convent. And some people came back for 2 and 3 helpings. Look at how much they ate. Wow. But the pot was never empty. So still no problems. Everyone's happy. They love Big Anthony for sharing his pasta. But you know every story has a problem. When all had their fill, Big Anthony sang, enough, my pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down, my pot of clay, until I'm hungry another day. But alas, he did not blow the 3 kisses. Ooh. He went outside, and to the applause of the crowd, Big Anthony took a bow. He was so busy listening to compliments from everyone that he didn't notice the pasta pot was still bubbling and boiling until a sister from the convent said, oh, Big Anthony, look! And pasta was pouring out of the pot all over the floor of Strega Nona's house and was coming, do you see it? Out the door. Dun, dun, dun! I still remember this page from when I was little because it's so funny, but not funny. Big Anthony rushed in and shouted the magic words again, but the pot kept bubbling. He took the pot off the floor, but the pasta kept on pouring from it. Big Anthony grabbed a cover and put it on the pot and sat on it. But the pasta raised the cover and Big Anthony as well and spilled on the floor of Strega Nona's house. Just look at those pictures. I still remember this one from when I was little, when he tried to sit on the lid and it didn't work. Stop! Yelled Big Anthony, but the pasta did not stop. And if someone hadn't grabbed poor Big Anthony, the pasta would have covered him up. The pasta had all but filled the little house. Look at Strega Nona's house. Out of the windows and through the doors came the pasta, and the pot kept right on bubbling. The townspeople began to worry. Do something, Big Anthony, they shouted. Big Anthony sang the magic song again, but without the 3 kisses. You got it. It did no good. And by this time, the pasta was on its way down the road, and all the people were running to keep ahead of it. So this is becoming a big emergency because it's just going everywhere. Here's the mayor. He's the head of the town. This is what he says. We must protect our town from the pasta, shouted the mayor. Get mattresses, tables, doors, anything to make a barricade. So look, they're bringing doors and tables, and they're putting them down, trying to block that pasta from coming into the town. But even that didn't work. The pot kept bubbling and the pasta kept coming. Look at it. Are you ready to can you imagine what a lot of pasta looks like? "We are lost," said the people, and the priest and the sisters of the convent began praying. "The pasta will cover our town," they cried. Look at all that pasta. And it certainly would have had Strega Nona not come down the road home from her visit. She didn't have to look twice to know what had happened. She knows exactly what happened. She knows she told him not to touch the pasta pot, and I'm pretty sure she knew he was going to. I'm not a very good listener. She sang the magic song and blew the 3 kisses, and with a sputter, the pot stopped boiling and the pasta came to a halt. There it is, it just stopped. "Oh, grazie, thank you, Strega Nona," the people cried. But then they turned on poor Big Anthony. "String him up!" the men of the town shouted. They're really angry with him. He's very scared. What do you think Strega Nona is going to do? "Now wait," said Strega Nona. "The punishment must fit the crime." Means whatever you do to make up for something you did wrong should kind of match what you did. And she took a fork from a lady standing nearby and held it out to Big Anthony. Do you think you know what she's going to make him do? He made a big mess. "All right, Anthony, you wanted pasta from my magic pasta pot," Strega Nona said, "and I want to sleep in my little bed tonight. So start eating." And he did. Poor Big Anthony. Now you know why she was giving him a fork. Because he's got to eat up all that pasta to clean up the mess he made. Look at his stomach. He looks really sick. Oh, can you make a sick face and hold your belly? Oh, he ate too much. And he did. Poor Big Anthony. I don't know if I read that part. And then if you see at the end, there's Big Anthony sitting outside of Strega Nona's house feeling very sick with a very big belly. And Strega Nona, remember her wish? She wanted to sleep in her little bed that night, and she did. And that is the end of Strega Nona. I hope you liked that book. It's one of my favorites. Here we go.